Everybody, I hope you're doing well today. I am excited about the project that we're getting ready to do. I've been working on it, coming up with some ideas, and I really think it's cute. You can add to it, you can do your own thing with this, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've gone ahead and made the earrings to go with this pendant. And we are going to actually do the pendant together today. So, and I'll show you the earrings later on. But I'm so excited. So, I think they're, like I said, they're really cute. Maybe you won't like it, and that's fine too. But let me know. Let me know if there's something you see that you think you would have changed about it. Just let me know. I'm going to turn this around and we're going to do our scripture for today. Then we'll get started. Okay, so our scripture for today is 1 Corinthians 13:6. It says, "Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth." So we shouldn't love things that's evil, right? But when we see things that are true and pure, we're to rejoice in those things. And one of the things I'll tell you real quick, I do a program with Agape called Untangling Relationships. And I love that program. It talks about a lot about our dysfunction. It talks about codependency, and codependency in and of itself is not truth. It's just not. It's lies. Some of the coping mechanisms that we use is just extremely unhealthy. And they are lies. They're based on lies. And you can't change things if you're not aware of them. And that's what I love about Untangling Relationships. It makes you aware of the dysfunction and the things that need to be changed in our life. So I love that program. I think it's so helpful for people. And it makes you, I tell people that by going through that program, I lived a life of existence. I existed, but I didn't truly live my life. And I feel like I'm more capable of living my life now. There is a huge difference in existing in life and actually living and loving life. All right, so we're going to get started. This is what we're going to need for the project today. You're going to need a wood blank of your choosing. It can be round, it can be square, it can be whatever you want it to be. And on here, I have drawn, if you will, a 4-leaf clover. So that is what we're going to work on, a 4-leaf clover. So obviously you're going to need a wood blank. You're going to need a pencil to draw on your wood blank. You're going to need a file or an emery board in order to sand down our wood piece, and we'll do that in a moment. You're going to need a toothpick, cocktail stick, whatever you want to call it. This is what I use to put the gloss varnish on with for the finished product. So a toothpick. You're going to need, and I use this to put the varnish in and glitter in, because we're also using glitter. So I have here, I have a Deco Art, and this is a gold glitter paint, and Dollar Tree. That's where I got this. I got the emery boards from Dollar Tree. Okay. Then glitter, a silver glitter is what I used, and I'll show you that in a little bit, what it looks like. But this, again, Dollar Tree. I put the glitter paint on. You can have a brush, or this is a silicone brush. So I just used a silicone brush to put the glitter paint on my wood piece. Then you're going to need paint pens. I wanted to do multi-metal. I did not want to just use silver or gold. So I have a gold. This is a acrylic paint pen. It is ultra fine tip. The gold one is. This one, and this is more like an antique gold, if you will. And then this one is a silver paint pen, and it's a fine tip. Okay, so I have those. I have a black Sharpie extra fine point to do detail work on my 4-leaf clover. And then I chose 2 different colors of paint pens. These are acrylic markers. So these are acrylic markers. These are paint pens. And this is a Sharpie. Okay. So 2 colors of green. And I just have an extra Sharpie out here if I need it. Then the other thing I did, these are crystal flat back. And I used those, and that's it really. There's not a lot to this. Now I want to say this about this project. I am not a painter, I'm not an artist, but I did this. And if you could see my stick men are what I would call a stick man, you would come to understand that, yeah, I don't do well with drawing or any of that, but this was pretty easy. And let me just say, the way that I did this, drawing this, I don't know where you're at in your ability to draw, but basically I just drew, and I'll just use this. I just drew hearts, if you will. That's exactly what this is a heart. I just drew 4 hearts in my stem. And I know how to draw hearts because I love hearts. And then I just kind of put the, make them look like, I had the leaves looking like they were leaves. And put a little detail in them. Very easy. The other thing you're going to need is a drill. To drill your hole, or there is a hand drill that you can just kind of punch your hole in this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to clear all this out and we're going to get started. I'm going to take you step by step and show you how to do this. Okay, this project. So the first step that I did, I chose my wood blank, and then I drew this 4-leaf clover on this wood blank. Okay. Step number 2, and I'm going to pull the camera back down this way. Now what I'm going to do, and I don't want it to get on my glass top here, but now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it back a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is just file this wood blank down and show you how I do that. And this is just an Emory board. Again, this I got from Dollar Tree. So all I'm going to do is just file down the edges, and I'm just going right along the edge here, okay? And I do about 5 times, and then I move on. You notice I'm not doing this. I'm just going once, okay? I do it about 5 times, and I turn it. All right. Then I'm going to do this back edge. Same thing, okay? And you can see where some of that's coming up now. And you can see the dust on there. And the back side of the piece is usually the one that I get more of the dust from, I guess. Now today I'm just going to do this pendant with you because it'll take us a little while to do this. And then I'll come back in a part 2, if you will, and we'll put a necklace, make a necklace and earring out of this set that we're doing, okay? So, and then now, so I've got the back edge, just the edge on the back here, okay? Now I'm going to do the ends. And what I'm going to do with these ends is I'm doing this away on the ends, okay? So let me start up here at the top so I know what I've done. My bad. Not ends, edges. Now, I'm going to actually take my t-shirt. You can get cloth if you want, but I'm taking my t-shirt and I'm just getting all the dust off of this piece to see what it looks like. It's pretty smooth. I'm just going to look at it real close to see what else I might want to do with it. So give me just a second. Okay, so it looks pretty good. But what I'm going to do is, and the side of the Emory board that I use the coarsest one. I don't, or the one that's not so rough. Fine one, I guess. That's not so rough on this, and not this side is the more coarse. Okay, so I'm going to do the front and I'm going to do the back, and I'm going to sand this. Let me see if I can see how the grain is this way. See how the lines in it, the grain goes this way. So that's how I'm going to file it, and I'm actually going to file it this way. Okay, it's just a very light sand that I'm doing, and I'm going along the grain. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the back. You can tell the back a little bit more. See how the grain is? Alright, so we're just going to do the same thing on the back. I just sand it along the grain. And even though I have drawn this on the front and I've sanded it, it stays right on. That's pencil. It really does stay right on. Okay, I'm going to take one last look, and now I'm going to, I need to do the edges a little bit more this way. To kind of get these edges rounded a little bit. looks like this. And this is a little bit hard to do because the camera's in my eyeballs and my face, but my t-shirt and dust this, get the dust off of this. That's all I'm doing. Okay, looks like I need to sand right there. So now I'm going to do it this way. I'm just, see how I'm running along the edges here. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the back side. And I'm just running it along the edges, trying to get the edges smoothed out just a little bit more. And then I'm going to do the end edges, if you will. I think I call them the ends, but that's the edges, and do the same thing. And I'm just very lightly trying to smooth those out. See what, ooh, yeah, I think that's good. Very smooth. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to set this down. I'm going to take, what I've got right now is just some Clorox wipes. I'm just going to get any dust that might have settled on my glass top here and get it off. So here is our piece, and it looks really pretty. It's all sanded down. I'm going to take my light green acrylic marker. Man, this is having a hard time. I'm sorry because it's not focusing. My light green acrylic marker. And we're just going to start coloring this in. I love doing this. This is just so easy. The result's so pretty. I'll show you one of the earrings in a minute. I just kind of, I want you to kind of use your imagination and not see the result until a little bit later, after we get into this a little bit. Okay. And the way that I'm painting them is by heart. I'm painting each heart. Again, and all I'm doing is just painting my little hearts. I love this color green. I think it's a real pretty color. The markers are not marked like with the colors or what colors they are. But this looks like almost like a turquoise green to me, which I think is very pretty. Okay, and do my last little heart. I decided to go ahead and do the earrings but before I did this with you, because very, small details and stuff, and I didn't want you to have to sit here for like days. So okay, so there's my 4-leaf clover. I think it turned out really pretty. The color, it's just pretty. It is a green. I know it looks kind of like blue-green. Kind of does look like a blue-green. When I put the other color on it, it just sets it off, though. I think that is real pretty. I'm going to use my other green acrylic marker. And we are going to go down in the center of it and just make veining. That's all we're doing here, just putting a little detail on it. And you can do any kind of detail that you want to on this. It's all up to you, okay? Now before I get too into this with my details and the painting, I'm going to go ahead real quick and show you how to drill your hole. Again, I penciled in my design, okay? And then I also penciled in where I want my hole to be, okay? This is what I use. I have like a wood board. I actually got this from Hobby Lobby. And this is what I do my drilling on. This is my drill. This is a Warrior drill. I got this drill from Harbor Freight. Again, you can also do this with a hand drill. But I'm using my little drill that I have here. Okay. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to put this where I want it. And I'm going to hold this down and I'm going to, my switch, I'll move that up. See, my switch is right there. Just like that. And that is all there to using the drill. That's it. And there's my hole. Now I'm going to clean it out. I have a bead reamer here. And I'm just going to put my bead reamer in here. And I'm going to clean out this hole. Kind of, this has got almost like a sanding thing on here because that's what helps ream out your beads if you got small bead holes. Okay, you can do this at any time you want. You can, after you draw, you can go ahead and put your, and that's probably not a bad idea, after you draw your 4-leaf clover, you can go ahead and put, drill your hole. And that way you can sand down around where that hole is just to make sure that's real good and smooth. And I'm going to do the same thing on this front here. It's probably better to go ahead and do the drilling before you get started on your painting. It didn't mess it up. It's still as pretty as it was, but that way you can just be ensured that you're not going to mess up your piece, okay? Okay, so I put my drill out of the way. Continue with my detail work, and I'm going to take my gold pen here, acrylic paint pen. This is the ultra fine tip, and what I'm going to do now is go around and do the outline of my piece. Bring this down just a little bit, and I'm just going to go around here like this, And doing just again the outline of my hearts, if you will, my leaves. And then I'm going to do the outline of my last, oops, that's okay though, heart. All right, now I'm going to take my gold, or not my gold, my green pen here, and I'm going to color in the stem. Okay. I'm going to take my gold and I'm just going around the edges of my stem, just like that. Okay. Now I did this and I thought, yeah, but it needs something, so I decided to use extra fine Sharpie and to do a little more detail work. So what I'm going to do with my Sharpie, I'm going to take my Sharpie, but I'm just taking my Sharpie and I'm going down to the side of where that green is. I'm going to take that there. I'm going to take put a line here, a line here, a line there. I'm kind of doing the opposite of each side, just like that. And see how that brings that leaf out even more. The next thing I'm going to do with my Sharpie is I'm going to go to the inside of this gold line and outline my heart. So I'm just going right here, just like this. And don't worry too much because we can fill that in with gold. So there's my outline, and we're going to go back over the gold on the outside. And do a little more gold. Okay. Just like that. And we'll let that dry because initially what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to go on the outside with my black pen as well. But we're just going to do it like this for right now. Alright, now I'm going to go over here and we'll work on this leaf. So I'm going to go on this side of the line coming down, okay? And we're going to go underneath this line. We're going to go to the top of that line, underneath, top, underneath, top, underneath. Then I'm going to take just like this and outline my heart just like that. And I'll go back and redo the gold in a minute, okay? We'll just go ahead and stay with the black. The reason why I use these is because they're ultra extra fine and they are great for detailed work. Again, so what I'm going to do is go on this side of my leaf, or my detail, and this is underneath, this is going to be underneath, this is going to be on top, underneath, on top, underneath, on top. And I think I'll put another one down there. Okay. Then I'm going to take this and I'm also do the outline of the inside of that heart too. Just like that. And I hope you can see the detail, how that's come on life. See the difference between these and then that one? Yeah, it just really brings out these 4 leaves. So again, I'm going to take this, I'm going to go on this side of that green line. I'm going to go the top here, bottom here, top here, bottom here, top here, bottom here, and I think I'll just do a couple more little at the bottom here. Okay, and then again I'm going to take my and go make my heart just like this. And look at that detail. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go around my green stem. So we're just going to bring this down here. Okay. Now I'm going to go back. We'll use this again in a minute. Now you do need to let this, before you put your black on, it's important to let that gold dry a little bit, because if you don't, it'll mess up your Sharpie if it's in that wet paint. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go back around the black and do my gold. Here's my, this was my mock-up that I did. Now there's a bunch at the top, so it must have been clogged, is what it looks like. Because now it's coming out. It's flowing. And again, we'll need to let this dry really good before we attempt to put any more black on here. This paint pen is really, let me show you here. See how the paint's right there? That's not flowing to the bottom like it's supposed to. I'm gonna clean off the tip. Yeah, when it works, it's really nice. When I did the earrings, this didn't happen, so I don't know what the deal is, but it's flowing now. Must have needed to clean off that the top of that. The tip, I'm sorry, of the paint pen, but yeah, it's working great now. It's flowing just really nice. So we will need to let this dry before we put on the black detail on the outside. Okay. Let's see, do I want to do anything? Actually, I do. This stem needs gold. Alright, so I'm going to let this sit here and dry, and then I'll come back and we will finish up the detail on here. Okay, so now we're going to do the outline of our heart. And I don't know why it did not do it on the earrings, but for some reason it's kind of splattering and bleeding. But it almost looks like a shadow. I'm not gonna fret too much about that. But it did not do it on the earrings, and when you see the earrings here in a minute, you'll notice that. But there's the outline. I have to go back in and I'm going to do more detail work here, but I'm going to let the gold dry before I do that work, and then I'll come back and we'll finish this up. And all I'm doing is doing the detail work of redefining my hearts with the black. And see how that bled? The earrings did not do that, so I'm not sure why that is doing that. Now on the paint it doesn't seem to be doing the fraying, so I don't know what that's all about. And then I'm just going to do my outline down here at the bottom of my stem. There's our 4-leaf clover. So now what I'm going to do, so let me show you real quick. This is our earring. Isn't that cute? Okay, so this is going to end up looking like that. And here is the back of our earring. Got some sparkle on the front, sparkle on the back. So I've done my detail work for the most part. Now I'm going to go back with my silver paint pen, fine tip, and we're going to paint this. And you'll notice I'm painting it along the grain. You know, where the grain is running this way. That's the way that I'm painting. So I'm not bothered about those edges because I'll have to go back over that. But the silver paint pen is actually covering that up. And that is fine. So I'm being very careful because I don't want too much of the silver to get into the black. I'll have to redo a little bit of this, but it's not too bad. Trying to do even strokes, just like this. I don't remember the earrings, the black fraying like that, but it might have, and maybe it just covered it up with the paint pen and I didn't even realize it. I don't know. Because the paint pen's doing a great job taking care of these edges.
The way that I do this is try to go around the edges so that it makes it easier to paint. This is very detailed work, and I'm not the best at detail work, but I try. But this is really, honestly, this is a fun little project. It was fun putting the earring pieces together. And I'll show them to you here in a minute. Silver's doing a good job covering up those bleeding, I guess that's what you would call it, the black, where the black is actually bleeding into the wood. That's what we have so far. It's coming together very nicely, like that. Now what I did forget to do is to do my back first. I should have done my, it doesn't, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm gonna let this dry so that I can do my back. I'm not gonna come back and do the back for you, but all you got to do is do the paint pen here on the back, and I probably should have done that before I did the front, but I don't think it's gonna really matter. But I'm gonna let the front dry so it doesn't mess it up when I do go to paint it on the back, and I will be back. Okay, so here is what we've got so far. We've got the front painted, we've got the back painted. Okay, it's silver. The next thing that we're going to do are glitter paint, and we're going to paint over this gray with this glitter paint. Now what I like this because it doesn't cover up the gray. It just goes right through. So I'm gonna put this on here. Now I put, the way that I did this, I used my silicone brush and painted it on with that. I also painted the edges with the silver. Okay, so we're just going to take, and we're just going to put a very light coat of this gold glitter paint on here. The glitter or the paint itself is, I wouldn't say it's clear, it's kind of a creamy looking. And again, we're painting in the same direction as the wood grain. It doesn't take very much of this glitter paint at all. As a matter of fact, that's too much, because we're only going to use this glitter paint on the front of our piece. Glitter paint just helps it have another, just a sparkly thing to it, a little more bling, if you will, and a little more decorating of the piece. Okay, that's all we got. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry, and then we'll come back and do the next step. Next, I'm going to take some E6000. Let me show you this first. There's our pendant. And there's the back. And here's the front so far. Okay. I'm going to take some E6000. And I'm going to glue one of these crystal flat backs in the center of our piece here. Take a dollop of that. And I'm just going to put that right in the center of my piece. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my bead here. Okay. And we're going to put it right in the middle. Get that centered and mash that down. Sharpie here, and I'm just going to press it down. Now there is some glue around it, but we can clean that glue off. And I'm just going to take that excess glue and pull it right up. See? Do want to make sure to press that down and hold it down, make sure it's attached, and it is. Okay, and then I'm going to take and put my gloss varnish in my paint tray here. And we'll fill it probably about 3/4 of a way up, because this is a pretty big pendant and we want to make sure we get good coverage. And I'm just going to do this. And this is all we're going to do. Now you may ask, why don't I use a brush to put this on? When I've used brushes, I'm going to bring this back a little bit. When I have used brushes before to do this, it has left like brush strokes, and I don't like the brush strokes. So I just put it on with a toothpick. Just like this. And try to smooth it out the best I can. Now sometimes you'll get an air. See that air bubble there? I'm just going to take that and scoop that off, because we don't want air bubbles. I was going to tell you something and I forgot what I was going to tell you. But this is all we're going to do. We're just going to put this, I see an air bubble up there. Make sure you drag it to the end of your piece. I'm going to make sure there's good coverage around our crystal in the middle, because I want to make sure this will help, the varnish will help set it, keep it there. Okay, I don't want to put varnish on top. Some do. I don't want to do that. You can do that if you want. I want to ensure that my crystal will shine. Again, and I'm just making sure to cover the edges. Now it looks kind of like a pillowy look, which is fine. But again, make sure that if you see an air bubble, to get that out. Now this goes on fairly thick. Some is really thin, but this seems to be pretty thick. So it takes a little bit to cover this. I'm not going to stay. I think I'm going to go ahead and pause this and finish this up, and come back when I have finished this. Now I will tell you, I kind of messed up. It doesn't really matter too much, I don't think, but normally I will do my backs before I do my front. So my bad, I didn't do that this time. Usually the front is the last thing I do. We've still got a little bit of stuff to do on the back side of this, but I'll wait. Once this has completely dried, we'll finish up the back, and then our piece will be completely finished. So I hope you like this project. I thought it turned out really good. Before I go and finish this up, I do want to show you, let me set this down. I do want to show you our earring pieces. There is our finished product. I think they're really, really cute. They have the glossy look and finish, almost like glass, and I love that. I love the way that the varnish, this gloss varnish, leaves like a glass appearance on it. And then what we're going to do, the last step, we're going to put some glitter in the gloss varnish, and we're going to put the gloss varnish on the back of the piece, and then we'll be done. And I also put it on the edges, just regular varnish on the edges. But here's the finished earrings, and we'll come back with the pendant. I hope you like those. I think those are pretty. Real quick, I wanted to show you, this is what it looks like with the finished gloss on it. It clears, or it dries just like this. So very clear. So I just wanted to show you that. Alright, we'll be back when this dries. This is already like an hour, close to an hour long. So I am not going to come back for that last part, which the last part is just putting gloss with some glitter on the back side. So I'm going to do that off screen, but all I'm going to do is to get my gloss varnish, fill this up 3/4 of the way, just like we did on the front. Take some of the glitter. I'm just going to put just a little bit, like I will tap it the lightest amount and put in there, because I don't want the glitter to be real heavy on the back. So I'll just put a little bit of glitter in there. I'll stir it up, and then I'll apply it to the back again with my toothpick, just like we did before. So I just wanted to explain that process. I'm not going to go through it with you. I will come back and show you the final pieces. Okay, we're back, and I wanted to get this finished up for you. Here is, I've got a light holding up so you can see it a little bit better. Here is the final piece on the necklace, or the pendant. I think that turned out so pretty. I'm going to put this light down so that I can show you something real quick. So what you could do, I only used one of the crystals right here in the middle. Okay, give it a little bit of bling along with the glitter that's there. You could take some of the smaller ones here, and if you wanted to put some more of those and do it around, you know, around here, you could, to give it more. You could even outline it in those crystals if you wanted to. But sometimes I feel like less is more, and I feel like for this project, I feel like, you know, we've got bling, we've got the sparkle on the front, we've got the crystal on there, we've got our backs with the glitter, right? So I really don't want to do too much more, because we will also, we're going to put together, I'll put it up that way, that's better, because we're going to do a necklace set, and we'll have stones, and I don't want to take away too much from what we already have here. Let's see if it'll, there
There we go. And I just think that is just beautiful. I really do. I like them. I think they came out really cute. You know, and like I said, I'm not an artist, but for somebody who's not an artist, as far as drawing, I thought, wow, okay, they didn't turn out too bad. So I hope you like this. We'll come back. This is going to be a part 1. We'll do a part 2. And the part 2 will actually put these pieces together and make a necklace and a pair of earrings. Okay? And this is going to be our St. Petty Day beauties, is what I'm calling them. And I do think they're really pretty. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a little bit longer, but you know, I went into a lot of details in this video. I showed you how to sand. I showed you how to put the glaze on. I showed you how to drill holes. I did this whole process with you for the wood projects. So I'll probably use this video as a reference to go back and use, you know, for how to drill a hole, or how to put the varnish on, or, you know, some of these other things that we might need to do. So, but I did the whole process with you this time because I thought that I wanted to show you from start to finish what that looks like. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. We'll come back and we'll put a necklace together and do a part 2 of this. I hope you enjoyed this, and until the next time, you all take care. If you're not a subscriber, we encourage you to subscribe, share, like, comment. I love seeing your comments. Please comment, because I want this to be a community, and I want to you know, just share things with you. And I hope you're enjoying our word that I'm sharing. Today's scripture again was 1 Corinthians 13:6, which is, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. You all have a good evening. And I love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye.